Hello, let's continue our Sudoku adventure with Grasp by rockratzero. So we have normal 6x6 Sudoku rules, meaning in every row, every column, and every 2x3 box, we are placing the digits 1 to 6 exactly once each. We also have thermometers in the grid, and don't get confused, some of them just overlap with each other. But the way to think of it is like maybe branching thermos if you prefer. But anyway, there's circles in the grid, those are the bulbs of the thermo. So this is a single thermo, and this is a single thermo, and they happen to share the same cell as their bulb. This is a thermo, this is a thermo, this is a thermo, and this is a thermo that all share this bulb, and these even share these two cells. But you can think of them as separate thermos. All right, so how does a thermo work? Well, from the bulb, we strictly increase. So the bulb is the smallest digit, and then you have to get bigger, and then bigger, and bigger, and bigger as long as the thermo continues. So if this was, say, a 3, this just has to be bigger than 3, like maybe a 5. And then this would now be forced to be 6, because 6 is our biggest digit. But we could also do 1, 2, 3 if we want, or we could go 1, 3, 6 all the way. It doesn't really matter, as long as they increase. All right, in addition to that, we do have killer cages in the grid. These are these cells surrounded by dotted lines. Digits in a cage sum to the value in the top left. So these 3 sum to 9, for example. And that's it. Those are the rules. There's a link in the description if you'd like to try the puzzle yourself. And I'm going to get started right now. Okay, how do we want to get started? These really complex thermos might be helpful to think about what digits can go in them, but I'm wondering if there's a cleaner way to get started here. Okay, so we need a 6 in this box. And you're not putting a 6 in a 2-cell 6 gauge because you can't do 6 plus 0. You're not putting a 6 midway through a thermo. 6 can only be at the end of a thermo. So 6 is limited to one of these 2 cells. That does put 6 down here somewhere. Now if 6 ends up in the 12 cage, then the other 2 digits also add to 6. Which is viable. It would just have to be the other way to add to 6 that this one isn't, right? Because there's 2 ways to add to 6, either 1, 5 or 2, 4. And then if there was a 6 in here, we would need this to be the other one. Like if this was 2, 4, this would be 1, 5. If this was 1, 5, this would be 2, 4. If that was the 6, right? But the 6 doesn't have to be in the 12 cage. And if it wasn't, pretty sure it's still very viable to add to 12. Let's see, anything else like these pointings, like these 6s here? You can put a 6 in a 9 cage. It can only be 1, 2, 6 if you do that. But it is possible. Here we can't have 6s here. Can't put a 6 here or here. How about 1s? So 1s have a similar issue as 6s. Okay. So 1s can't be midway or at the end of a thermo. They can only be in the bulb. If a 1's on a thermo, it's in the bulb because it's the smallest digit. So that means there's a 1 somewhere down here. Putting a 1 up here. Now there can't be a 1 at the end of this thermo. Now, can we put a 1? Okay, if we put a 1 in the 12 cage, then this would be 1, and then this would be 5, 6. And that works. This would just be 2, 4 with a 1 here. This being a 1 is perfectly viable for the bulb of thermo. 1 can go in a 9 cage, but does not have to. We can do 2, 3, 4. I'm wondering what I'm missing. Is there something with rows or columns, maybe? So we already know the 1's over here. Okay, there's a little bit of logic I can do here, which is we can't actually put 2's over here. Normally you could with this thermo. You could do, for example, 2, 1 like this. But now how are we adding to 6? The smallest 2 digits I can put in here are 3, 4, which add to 7. Basically, the sum to 6 will use a 1 or a 2, as well as using a 4 or a 5. So if the 6 is using up either a 1 or a 2, we can't have the thermo use both 1 and 2. So this can't be a 2, this can't be a 2, this definitely can't be a 2. And so 2 is limited over here as well, and it's going to be down here. So we know that one of the 1, 2's is in the 6 cage, and the other one is not in the 6 cage, meaning this has to be a 1 or a 2. Because one of them has to overflow out of the 6 cage. Right, and the 6 cage doesn't use a 6, it uses 4 or 5. Okay, I don't know why I thought that was a eureka moment. It was an anti-eureka moment, I already figured that out. 1, 2, 5, 1, 2, 4, 5. If this is a 2, this ends up being 1, 5. That seems, yeah, I don't think I can get more out of this box at the moment. I need something else to help out. We know 1 and 2 are up here. Could this be 2, 1? Barely. Because if this used up the 1 and the 2, if this was 2, that would force this to be 1. Right, if this was 2, that would force this to be 1. That's what I'm thinking of. This wouldn't have a 1 or a 2 in it, so it would have to be 3, 4, 5, which is 12. 3, 4, 5 is 12, and then this is a 6. So that barely works, but it does work. Unfortunately. Is there some reason 3, 4, 5 would be bad here? I can't think why. I am going to need okay, I do need a 3 in this row, and we're not putting a 3 in the 6 cage, and we're not putting a 3 here, because this has to be the overflow one too. So the 3 ends up down here and up here. So which one of these is the 3? We know this is not the 3, because we end up with the problem of having to do 3, 2, 1, and then now there's nothing down there, right? So this can't be the 3. Now if this was the 3, that's either of these being 3 is viable. And again, it forces the 1, 2 there. So this is definitely bigger than 3. This is from 4, 5, 6 for what it's worth. I don't know. I feel like maybe there's somewhere else I can get some progress out of. Been really focused on this bottom band here. So where else can I get progress? Does it have to do a 6 in this column? Not really. 6 can't be here or here. That's it. All right. Can this be 3, 2, 1? That's kind of a question. I'm not seeing why it couldn't be. I'm trying to see if these are restricted to being large. Um, 2, 1. You know, there may be some geometry here. I'm not sure yet, but let's visualize this. I'm going to call this green. Whatever digit ends up in this bulb, we know it's a 1, 2, 3, or 4, but we don't know which one. It can't be 5 or 6 because it's on a 3-length thermo. But anyway, whatever this is, we'll call it green. Where does it go in this box? Well, it can't go on it can't repeat on its own thermo. Is kind of what I'm thinking about here. If it can't repeat on its own thermo, it's limited to these 3 cells. Now, it would have to be pretty big if it ended up here, but I don't think it would break things. Would it? Well, actually, can this really be a 4, right? If this was a 4, this would definitely be 5, 6. This would also be 6. This couldn't be 5, so this would be a 6, and this would have no value. Right, okay, so one way to think about this is this digit. This digit is smaller than all 3 of these. And these can be at, these are 3 different digits. So this can only go up to 3. Now, would 3 actually work? I think it would in a void on its own. So this is 1, 2, or 3. Now, something interesting about that. Okay, so I talked about 9 cages during our killer cage theme week. I mentioned this in one of the puzzles. A 3-cell 9 cage, really handy sort of piece of knowledge, meta knowledge about 9 cages. Not really meta, just knowledge about 9 cages. 3-cell 9 cages is that they have 2 digits that are in the 1, 2, 3 range and 1 digit in the 4, 5, 6 range. Now, why is that? Well, think about the proof by contradiction. Let's say we did not have 2 digits in the 1, 2, 3 range. Then we'd have to have 2 digits in the 4, 5, 6 range and 1 digit in 1, 2, 3 range to minimize it. And the minimum I could do would be a 1 with a 4, 5 pair, and that would add to 10. So I must have 2 digits in the 1, 2, 3 range. Now, we can't have 3 digits in the 1, 2, 3 range because that always adds to 6, not 9. So I have all of my 1, 2, 3s used up in these 4 cells because 2 of them are in the 9 cage and 1 of them's is this green cell here, which means that these are from 4, 5, 6. That gives us a 4, 5, 6 triple in this column, making this 1, 2, 3. Now, which one of these can actually be 1? Well, not this one and not this one because of the thermos. That makes this a 1, and that has to group with a 5. That makes this a 2. Wow, okay. That's a really interesting way to make progress there. 5's in one of these 2, so 5's not in the 9 cage. Let's deal with that in a minute. Up here, we need the 3, 4, 6. We know that's not 6. I'm not sure how this resolves yet. Okay, so up here we have 1, 2, 5. We'll deal with that in a second. Down here we need 3, 4, 6. Okay, so we're not putting a 1 here. We're not putting a 5 here. I'm going to get rid of all these corner marks. They're just in the way. So let's think about this 12 cage maybe. So now that 5 is... Okay, if this was a 1, 5 would not be in the 12 cage, so we could not do 1, 5, 6. So that we could not add to 12. So that's not a 1. That places the 1 here. Now if this was a 2, these two would have to add to 10. So we could do 2, 4, 6. If this was a 5, 6 would be, yeah, 5. It would have to be 5, 3, 4. But that is 12. 5, 3, 4 is 12. So I don't know that I can resolve this yet. But this is great. This is a 2 or a 3. This is definitely not a 2. So this is 3, 2, and that gives us the 5 and the 2. 2 goes with 4, 6. That's our 3. That makes that a 2. Not surprising, but it does force green to be 1. All right, so I'm not too worried about green then. Wow, okay, that observation about the 9 cage was really helpful. I bet we can figure out this 9. Oh yeah, the 9 cage doesn't have a 1 anymore, so it's 2, 3, 4. This has to be the 2. And so this is a 5, 6 pair, making this the 4. That's the 3, that's the 6. This is a pair. We need a 1. The 1 goes there. And this is the 5. And then this pair, we need a 4 and 6. Don't know the order. Okay, we just got a bunch of stuff. Let's think about this for a second. Maybe this triple will help. We need the 1, 4, 6. That's never 1. That's never 1 either. The 1 goes here. Could have scanned that without penciling. Yeah, 1 in this box can't go here, so it has to go here. 1s are done, actually. Over here, we need the 4, 5, 6. So this is not, that's not going to be helpful. This is a 4, 5, 6 triple, though, so this is our 3. 3 in this box is definitely one of these two, and I'd like to say this can't be 3, but I'm not sure that's true. The 2s do look in here. Places the 2. So actually 3 is the smallest digit in the box. So this can't be the 3. This has to be the 3. 3 in the corner, DT dooting. Actually, my example, I put a 3 there. That's 4 and 3. I only remember that because it DT dooted. The DT doot doesn't actually give away that it's correct, by the way, in case anyone's worried about that. All right, this can't be the 6. This is 5, 6. This is our 4, 5, 6. We get our 4, 6, 4. 6, 5, 4, 6. All right, and we're done. Neat puzzle, Rock Rat. I really like the path I took. I don't know if it was the quote-unquote official path, but I enjoyed the logic there. You could get a lot out of this band, and then thinking about how this cell was reduced to 1, 2, or 3, and how the other 2, 1, 2, 3s had to be in the 9 cage, I think really blasted us off. So that was really neat. Cool ideas in this puzzle. Great execution as well. Hope you enjoyed it. Let me know how you did. And if you enjoyed it, why not leave a like, subscribe, and a kind comment below.